Hey everyone, welcome back to the Soundbyte. My name is Andrew, and today we're going to be jumping into some Led Zeppelin, completing their very first album, going down the rabbit hole of the Led Zeppelin 1 album back in 1969, going track by track all the way from start to finish. So here we are with the last track, How Many More Times? Yeah, this one's the longest track on the album by the looks of it, at almost 8.5 minutes long. So this will be a bit of a wild ride, and certainly a way to close it out on the first Led Zeppelin album. So it's been an interesting ride. There's been a lot of cool favorites on there. The blues stuff that I've been really enjoying a lot, and I didn't even know that they even did that kind of stuff on their albums. So that was really cool to see. And like I said, like it kind of made me appreciate the band a lot more now. And now that I've listened to an entire album from start to finish, it's yeah, definitely listening to Led Zeppelin in a different way, and really kind of investing some time to get to know the band from a musical standpoint, and realizing just how much of an influence they've really had on so many bands over the years. I know I always obviously knew that, but to kind of see it and hear it is been very, very cool indeed. So anyway, let's finish this off with the final track on the first Led Zeppelin album, How Many More Times? Well, you can see why Jimmy Page has been regarded as one of the greatest guitarists of all time, because some of the guitar stuff that he's been doing on this album has been amazing. All the different little tricks and guitar sounds and stuff. Familiar a little bit. That sort of melody that sounds familiar to me. How many more times? Treat me the way you wanna do. When I give you all my love, please. I'm not quite sure if I've heard this song before, but it's got a familiar sort of Yeah, the thing that I've noticed as well with Led Zeppelin is how much the sort of psychedelic elements are in their music. I had no idea that they had that much of that sort of yeah in their songs, because I always kind of felt they were more sort of just, rock and roll, somewhat traditional, I guess, but sort of rock and roll with some mellower kind of acoustic sort of folksy sort of parts and stuff. But the psychedelic stuff has been a bit of a nice surprise, I guess. But like I said before in another videos, like the psychedelic sort of sounds was kind of quite a popular theme back in the 60s and 70s. It was sort of like obviously that's where a lot of the stoner rock sort of stuff came from, but that was kind of quite of a common thing, I guess. But I just didn't expect it to hear it in Led Zeppelin, in all honesty, because I just didn't think they were that kind of a band. But it's interesting though, because like Jimmy Page has definitely got a lot of interesting sort of guitar sounds and sort of different sort of tricks and stuff that he does, which again, like I didn't really know that side of his guitar playing, I guess. So I kind of just thought he was just this a sort of rambunctious, like wild sort of guitar player that had a lot of cool riffs and stuff. But all the different sort of soundscapes and things like that is yeah, it's been interesting to sort of see that side of the band.
I was a young man, I couldn't resist. Started thinking it over, just what I had missed. Got me a girl and I kissed her and bed. Whoops, oh Lord, well I did it again. Now I've got 10 children of my own. I got another child on the way that makes 11. But I'm in constant heaven. I know it's all right in my mind. I got a little schoolgirl and she's all mine. I can't get through to her 'cause it doesn't for me. But I'm gonna give her everything I got to give. Oh, Rosie, oh girl, oh Rosie, oh girl, steal away now, steal away, baby, steal away. Little Robert Anthony wants to come and play.
I've said before, like I thought I might have heard this song. I don't think I have. Certainly not this part, anyway. Yeah, I don't know where that familiarity was coming from, but it certainly had a bit of who knows where that sort of comes from. Maybe I was hearing something from another band later on. They kind of was borrowing bits and pieces from Led Zeppelin, which is, has been known to happen. Uh, a lot of music, it gets sort of recycled and kind of reused and bits and pieces like that, because it's very hard, especially at this point in time, like to be completely original. Like it kind of feels like everything's kind of been said and done, and people are just kind of regurgitating variances of the same thing that's already been done. So I mean, I obviously at this point, 1969, this was all kind of new. So maybe where what I was hearing was something that another band had done later on, that I realized, okay, now they were just taking it from this. So But yeah, so far this is a definitely a more of a jammy sort of psych sort of song compared to some of the other ones. I mean, even though they've had this kind of stuff, before, this is definitely like an extended jam. Hence why it's 8.5 minutes long. Yeah, it's definitely one of the more jammier sort of songs so far. So yeah, and we're sort of running a couple of minutes away, so I can't see it sort of going in a drastic sort of direction. But I've been surprised before, so we'll see how this ends.
That's my name. Call me Wonder. That's how I got my fame. Ain't no king to hide. Ain't no need to run. 'Cause I got you in the sights of my
This bit right here, I feel like I've heard this before. The one I was talking about. There we go. That's the end of the first Led Zeppelin album with the track "How Many More Times." So, yeah, that was it had bits and pieces that I kind of feel like I'd heard before, but like I said, they could have been taken from another band that has sort of borrowed that sort of piece and use it for their own kind of thing. So, who knows what I heard back in the day. Yeah, so there you go. That's the entire album done. Yeah, that's been an interesting ride for sure. And it definitely feels like it has to be listened to from start to finish because a lot of the tracks on there, like they're really short, and then there was sort of mixed in with like longer songs. And so that sort of ebb and flow, which was not just within the music, like within the songs themselves, but it seems like the ebb and flow was also with the album as well, but from track to track. So it's a interesting, it's a very dynamic sort of album, and I'm interested to see what the next Led Zeppelin album, Led Zeppelin 2, brings. And I definitely want to go down that rabbit hole and see what did they do on that one. So yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. Yeah, that's thanks you for those who joined on the ride and listened to all the videos with me. Thank you very much for watching me check this out for the first time for a lot of it. There was a couple of tracks that I obviously heard before, like Dazed and Confused and stuff, but for the most part, a lot of them were kind of new to me. So, like I said before, it's kind of made me appreciate Led Zeppelin more. It's kind of made me see the band in a different sort of light and realize just even though I already knew how much of a legacy the band has and how much of an influence they've had on so many bands, it's kind of made me realize even more so, like, and kind of just again going back to that argument of heavy metal, who started it, was it Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, or whatever, and I've heard both arguments, and I kind of always lean towards Black Sabbath because they sound more like a metal band, but I'm starting to like look at it going like there are different elements of Led Zeppelin that for sure like helped pioneer the heavy metal genre, but definitely for sure. It's just very deceiving because the music doesn't come across heavy in the way that Sabbath does, but all the elements are kind of there though. So that's the interesting sort of part of it. And I guess that's what the argument is, I guess, is like they're hearing it from that side rather than sort of like just the actual just music, you know. A lot of the song structures and the elements and some of that is kind of where I think the influences are really from. So anyway, it's been an interesting ride and I'm glad that I did it. So thank you to everyone who's watched along with that. Please subscribe if you haven't, if you enjoy that one. We'll definitely do some more Led Zeppelin for sure. And any other bands you want to get me to jump in, and we'll do some full album sort of reactions. Let me know, and I'll definitely check it out for sure. So anyway, thank you for tuning in as always, and I'll see you in the next video.